Hey Zeke, hey Philip, what's up? So guys, yeah, just want to what you guys just signed on to logged on. So just to give you guys that update tomorrow night, if you can make it, Ari's on now, but he's gonna host. He's gonna co-host, so that it's gonna be unrecorded. I'll probably do like 5 minutes on the recording just to do the kind of introduction to it, and then I'm gonna turn the recording off and make him co-host, and then Ari, if you want to tell him what you're gonna be doing, that'd be awesome.
I
Um,
mean, it's really going to be kind of a freestyle, to be honest with you, and see where um
Sorry about that,
if
guys.
people have deals that they want to, that we want to tear apart, great. If not, we'll see if we can find some deals that I'm working on or something and look at those. Um, or we're just gonna, start talking about concepts, um, you know, and how to think about real estate and think about money. Because that's really kind of what we have to do in this industry to succeed is we have to think about money differently than people are used to thinking about money. Um, we're going to talk about good debt versus bad debt. Um, we're going to talk about one of my pet peeves that I saw some Yahoo post in one of the Burr groups, and they told me very respected, knowledgeable people told them this. They told them that there's four ways you make profit on a property, and they said one of the ways is by paying the mortgage. And I said, what? They're like, yeah, you make money by paying the mortgage. I said, you don't make any fucking money paying the mortgage. You lose money. You're reducing your leverage. How are you making money? You're reducing your leverage. Well, you get to refi it later. I said, so when you refi it later, you get to pay people like me, the broker, points to refi it and get your money back out. Yeah, you're making money. You're putting your money in. You're not even getting interest on the money. I said, you're not making money. He's like, well, very knowledgeable, respected people told me this. I said, well, they're not very knowledgeable, and I wouldn't have much respect for them, and they don't know what they're talking about. And you clearly don't understand the concept of investing in IRR and so on and so on. And that was how the conversation got left. But so that's one of my pet peeves that we can talk about is, if I have a choice between an amortized and an interest only loan, I'm going to take the interest only loan all day long and I'll never look back. Um, so yeah,
that's
um, things like that. We're going to talk about those concepts, and we're going to talk about, we're going to talk a lot about good debt and bad debt and how people confuse them. And when a real estate agent tells you, you're buying a home, it's an investment, look them in the face and tell them you're an idiot. Because I got news for you. It ain't an investment, it's a liability.
Okay, just be careful on some of the real estate agent talk because we got like 10 of them in the group now.
Oh, that's okay. You know where I am on it. Look, I think for a
Uh,
retail buyer and a retail seller, a real estate agent, a good real estate agent plays a really important role for those people. For an investor, if you're going to be in this business as an investor, you need to be able to comp your own properties. You need to be able to do all those things on your own. The only time that I really see a great need for a realtor is when you have a property in an area you're not familiar with, like as a lender, and you need to be able to find out about that area. So you reach out to a realtor and say, hey, we're looking at this property, we're trying to get an idea of something, et cetera, et cetera. But the
well,
reality is,
I
the
can tell you
reality
though.
is
I'll tell you.
for
Finish.
for
Yeah.
most investors, you shouldn't be going to realtors expecting them to do your job for you. If you can't comp a property properly, you need to learn how to do that before you go and invest your money in real estate.
Well, here's the thing:
So,
is look at Privy though, because on Privy you can get on market properties where you can call the because that one that I talked about, the Kevin and Jesse and I saw, we did that thing with
right?
Benson. It was 34% of ARV, and they had an agent. You could call the agent and make the offer, and it's 34% of ARV and all that stuff. Now, since then, Benson's upgraded. Now they're able to do comps. There's a lot more comp information, not entirely just like there's not every MLS
I
is
just
on there.
I just looked at Privy. I just looked at Privy like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, and I'm like, you know, and obviously, you know, I'm with Danny and obviously Eric and his partner Dutch is coming on. We've got some good realtors that actually want to work with investors and all
And
that
that's
stuff. So,
fine. And you know, they can, and they can bring, you know, bring deals to investors, but an investor needs to be able to do those things on their own and not rely on a realtor to do it for them.
well, no,
Um,
I don't think they're doing it
and
for 'em. I think it just isn't. It's just one more person that could help them with the deal.
and
It
that's
doesn't mean
fine.
they have to.
Right. And it is like, but I'm dealing with a client right now who's dealing with realtors, and these people have no idea what they're doing when it comes to investment properties. They're like, we want we want pre-qualified clients. There's no such thing as pre-qualification in the investment world. They're writing contracts
Well,
with
they
lenders.
don't, okay, they don't know. And so we have an
Right, they don't.
opportunity, with building, putting reindeer and connecting with agents gather to educate some of them and bring them on to our side and, you know, educate them because they don't know. I
Oh,
mean,
I know.
you should see some of the conversations that I see Danny have in some of the real estate agent groups on Facebook that he's in. Because I see a lot of stuff, obviously being friends with him with the algorithm. I get to see a lot, and he's out there trying to tell a lot of them that that they need to, because there's how many people go get the real estate license and then they never succeed. I
Well,
mean, it's
yeah, 95% of real estate agents fail within the first year or something like that. I just saw that statistic today.
yeah, I just want to make sure we're gonna, because I'm telling people we're gonna have a good relationship with the agents we have, and then being at Agents Gather, obviously there's gonna be a lot of agents and title
I got no
companies, and
Nate, I got no problem with a real estate agent who's, for lack of a better term, knows what their role is when it comes to working with investors. Whereas I have a real problem with a real estate agent who doesn't have a first clue about real estate investing, and then they start trying to tell investors what's going on, and the investors like, I know this shit better than you. I
oh no,
can comp a house, you know,
but that's
and they
fine. But we're just gonna be like with the realtors we deal with. I mean, it's great to tell somebody who you don't work with to go pound sand, but I think honestly we have a golden opportunity to work with. I'm just saying because I know it's
and
like,
that's fine. I like I said, I don't have an issue with that. I have an issue with, you know, realtors. I mean, I know of a deal recently that the realtor screwed the deal up because the realtor is like, well, we have to have a pre-qualified client. Like, there's no such thing as a pre-qualified client in the investment in investing. It
yeah, and I
doesn't
get it.
exist.
I know that's what we got to educate them. It's just like there's a lot of stuff going on with that NAR settlement. Well, we'll kind of come back to that because I want to try to get some other get Zeke
I mean,
into.
and I tell all my clients this. I said, you don't need a real estate agent to sell your property. Go do a flat listing. Why are you paying a realtor 3% to list your property? You know what your property's worth. Go and list your property. You don't need a realtor for that. There's no reason you should pay 3% to a realtor to list your property. If
Okay,
a realtor brings you a deal, great, pay them. It's like a wholesaler. They found you a deal, great, pay them for it. But why would I pay a realtor 3% to list my
I can
property?
tell you what though, that MLS that Danny has on Agents Gather is pretty impressive for getting word out there and people can use it. Anybody can put an ad on there. You don't have to be a realtor to use his
Right.
MLS. So
Exactly. And that's good. I applaud him for that. That's a good thing. There's no reason that anyone should have to pay a realtor to list a property. It's crazy in my opinion.
okay, I know, but it's we got to make sure we still make realtors welcome. We just got to educate them, and
That's fine.
that's what our group's going to be awesome about.
Right.
We'll
But
do videos for them and all
I
that.
think what
Yeah.
realtors have to realize is that in our group, they are not the stars and the focus. It's the investors who we're trying to help and educate
Yo,
that
Well,
are the
yo,
stars.
Bell.
there's going to be a firewall between Agents Gather really
Yo,
and Reindeer.
stop.
Yeah. So just to let you know, I'm going to go to Zeke and Philip too real quick, and then I'll come back to that Ari. Hey Zeke, what's going on, Ari?
I'm good.
Cool. How's you got any more EMD loans out?
Nope.
Cool.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm trying to get some more people to go to Glen. I think I sent like 4 or 5 people to her last week. So We gotta anybody that's on the group, guys. If you guys see anybody in these other groups that need EMD or GAP, make sure you get them to Glenn if you're not doing it yourself. So that's our only complaint so far is out of her group is I've heard her funders that we don't have enough deals.
Well,
Other than that,
I got a client who's looking for 20 million in EMD.
I don't know. That may
Zeke,
still be out of her.
you want to do that loan?
Not me, not me.
Okay.
I don't think there's only anybody in a group that I don't know. There's some people that may be able to have connections with people that can. I don't know, man. We'll figure it out. Hey, Philip, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Good, good. I caught the tail end of a conversation
Yeah.
when I came in, and I know you guys are talking about Gator stuff. Even though I'm a Gator, I have quite a bit of time in the business, so it was kind of interesting what you were talking about. Like I said, I caught the tail end, so I am kind of curious uh, without bashing too much. But what was the deal? Because it seems like you're saying some of these gators out there are getting too aggressive, or what?
Yeah, so and I'm not gonna say all, I'm gonna say a few and the
Yeah,
we've had a few so I'm not trying to throw the whole group to the bus. I'm sure there's some good people like there's always some bad apples in every group, but I think some of them are getting really we've had a couple people in our group in our own group that have dealt with them where they've got some deals and I've actually ended up getting, the paperwork and looking at it and some of them weren't I'm not gonna say who or who's on whining
yeah,
them, but there's some aggressive stuff out there and I've had some other people. We probably have 20 to 25 people in the group that have dealt with gators or been like you. They're in some form, whether in the free stuff that I know they're doing some at their Facebook group, and
yeah.
then all the way up to the paid stuff that Pace is doing or his
Yeah.
minion.
I've heard different things, and you know, I guess being around the business for quite a while, I and I just think it's very important to conduct yourself very professionally. There's no reason to get aggressive. So I certainly don't want anyone to even have this preconceived idea of, okay, once I say that word gator, the walls go up, because I am certainly not that way. Just, take me at face value as I am, as I communicate with everyone. And, I'm that's just how I am. I
No,
try to
I
be
know.
very professional.
No, exactly. That's why
I
I'm
think
glad you're in the
I
group.
think I
Yeah.
think what it boils down to, Philip, is there's some gators out there that are doing some loans that are very questionable
Okay.
about doing those loans, and
Okay.
then they are resorting to some very aggressive tactics to try to collect their money
Interesting.
after they lend people money they shouldn't be lending them.
Okay.
Um, there's I'm a very big believer in ethical lending, in
Yes,
responsible lending, which
absolutely.
means when you have a client, sometimes you have to still look at the client and say, dude, you don't have a deal, or this is a bad deal, or it's the wrong deal for you. You don't have enough experience for this. And when people are doing things like lending, you know, a brand new fix and flipper, and they're putting a second and third lien on a property so that that property's leveraged beyond 100%,
Yes.
right? That's not responsible lending. That borrower, they can never get out of that hole. They're never going to sell the property for enough to repay that loan. And on top of that, they're never going to be able to refinance that loan, because once you're over 80% of ARV, you're never getting the property refinanced. And they're just
No.
setting these people up for failure.
No, I understand, and that makes sense. And that, for me, that comes from coming out of the traditional mortgage banking environment and everything. I get exactly what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I think what happens is, because I've been a Gator only for about 2 or 3 months, and so it was kind of a no brainer for me, because but you see everyone, many of them who are in there, don't have a lick of experience whatsoever, and they're just getting on there and say, hey, you can make this, this and this. And so now they're starting to see dollar signs and everything. So from that perspective, because it takes a lot of training to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a whole lot. I mean, I've been in the lending business personally myself, probably about overall just lending probably about 15, 20 years. So, and that's why Gator was just a no-brainer for me, because I knew all what needed to be done, and I've been an agent, still an agent and everything. So from that perspective, that's just the industry, and you have to learn how to do
Yeah, I think
that.
some of it.
Why are you calling yourself a gator and just instead of just calling yourself a lender?
Because I'm not a lender from the standpoint, I mean, I could broker deals, I guess, but I'm not a lender from the standpoint of that's what I do. Whereas I have the license to do that, I just have the contacts. So, if I'm not doing that right, then,
Why? You're
I guess I
lending.
have
So you're lending your own money, right?
not me myself right now.
Okay.
I'm
So
just
what are you doing specific? I mean, I'm still trying to actually figure out what the term gator specifically is supposed to
it's
even
just a
mean.
term.
It's just
It's
like my
just a
rain. It's just
term.
like my reindeer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a
it's
marketing.
just I would
It's like you said, it's a marketing thing. That's all it
yeah,
is.
it sounds like it's getting a bad reputation.
Yeah, and that kind of, and that's why I kind of brought it out, because that kind of concerns me, because I certainly don't want to be associated with something like that. But there's always going to be bad apples. I get that, but I
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
I
don't.
mean the term itself doesn't sound like a great term either, to be honest with you.
it's kind of predatory. I mean, it's.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. I
I'm not.
understand.
No,
So,
not you guys. I mean, you're doing everything right. I'm just talking about from some of it. And see, my thing is being. I go to YouTube like right after tonight when the session's over. I'm gonna go watch some
uh-huh.
stuff on YouTube. I'm gonna guarantee
Yeah,
I'm gonna see Pace tonight on YouTube doing one of his videos. And he's
yeah.
unfortunately he's not out there. It's different if you're talking to people that are real estate who actually understand how everything works, title works, how closings work before they
Yeah, and that
become a
was a
gator.
no-brainer for me. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if it
Exactly.
came to me, I'd probably be okay. This looks because I mean, I've been brokering for 8 years. It's like so. I think it's the problem is that his ads kind of lead to people that are pitching crypto or they're pitching. God, I think the fitness people are the worst ones. There's a couple guy up there like, yeah, telling people who get them shredded by the god, like the god for the summer, and but it's for only for men who make a minimum of 150,000. And the guy's like just one of those total muscle, running around the muscle shirt. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like I see that guy.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's like Pace is like that too. He's like very much in people's face. Like you're the one who makes money on this deal. You make money even if anybody else does. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm kind of saying what I've seen. And it's like that's the only reason I pay attention is because I'm in the
well,
business, and I'm like,
yeah, and you pay attention. The tendency is always whatever the leader is going to be like.
well, yeah. I
Everybody
mean,
else is for and I'm not saying, but he used to actually be a little bit more aggressive. He's kind of slowed his roll down, so to speak, I think, in the last year or so. And I'm sure he's gotten some flack for it. So,
yeah. I mean, he's got some minions out there, kind of like his lieutenants and people running stuff, and some of them I think are questionable. I mean, I've heard some people that do good because we got like Jackson's a Gator in our group, and we got some other people. So I'm not knocking them as a whole group. I'm
oh
just
no,
saying
I know that. No, that's
we've had
certainly,
some
yeah,
direct we have some direct response direct involvement with the Gators with a few of the people in the group, and also like I said, Jeff in our group is he's going to be one of the speakers at Jim Ingersoll's private lending thing and for Dealmaker in Orlando in October, and with Jeff Watson, who's really big, and they're going to like a whole day of the 3-day event is just spent on Gators and how to so many people losing money on them, and it's starting to go around. It's starting to get out there now that a lot of people are losing money. We've got a couple
Yeah, and
more,
that's not good. That's not good at all.
and then it affects you guys who are gators and you're doing things right. That it could eventually come back on you guys because you don't want to say I'm a gator. And then, I almost had to make my EMD.
Exactly.
I had to make my EMD group. There's a question: Are you with the gate? If you use the gator method, are you? Because I just want to know ahead of time. It sounds like I'm gonna ban. I'm not gonna let people in the group, but it's like I'm trying to talk to them before and
You
kind
got to
of.
be careful. I think with anything, you have to be careful because, like you said earlier, there's going to be some bad apples and everything. And, and
What
to me,
specifically is the Great Gator method?
reputation, bite-sized chunks of getting deals and joint venturing and a lot of creative stuff and just leveraging other people's capital with your
Right?
capital.
Yeah, then you get a piece of it, and you can charge like a lot
Exactly.
more, and you charge a lot
Exactly.
more than what regular interest would be.
Yeah,
Because I
you
mean,
got to be careful with that because I think if you're not careful, if you get too much heat in one area, government's going to start taking a look at
well,
things.
and that's what I've said, and that's what I've said, and I've got my own experience with somebody in government in my family, but who may actually take an interest in it. But I'll tell you guys, here's the
Yeah,
thing. So I got an argument with somebody who was a gator. Oh, we don't charge 100%. Literally 2 days later, I got one of those emails from Pace. Obviously it's his marketing people with just his name on it, but he was congratulating somebody because the guy said he just closed got repaid on his first deal and he loaned $2,500 and he got paid back 7,500, so he made $5,000 loaning
yeah,
2,500. And Gator, and he was all, I took it back to that guy, and he basically blocked me and ghosted me after I sent him that thing and said, "Oh, sorry, you told me you guys don't charge 100%. This guy just charged 200%." And then another Gator, we have somebody in our group. Obviously, they're lending through Gwen, but
oh yeah,
somebody in our group loaned $2,000 for at 15%. She made $300, and somebody found out and started, going off on her. Like, oh, you're gonna screw us because people are gonna be wanting now 15 or 20%. Like, dude,
yeah,
you can charge whatever you want. It's like most of our people. I mean, Zeke, what'd you charge on yours? You're charging 20%, right?
Yeah, they've all been 20%.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a pretty good deal going through Gwen, and then she takes her little couple hundred or whatever her fee is, which isn't,
Okay, I guess then I qualify because I actually tried to cash out. I had almost closed this commercial deal, and I originally wanted to take a piece of equity on the back end at 50% of the deal for arranging the money of the deal. The sponsor was putting in no money essentially, so basically we were bringing all the money, and I had facilitated that. And
I'd almost
but
feel better. I'd almost feel different about that. Like, that's okay because syndications and things like that
well,
tend to
wait,
be a
wait,
little
it
bit.
gets better. So
You got to put the
so
Muppets up while you're
but I didn't
explaining
want
this.
to. But I didn't want to wait out for the completion of the project. At which point I would have made like $8 or $10 million. So I tried to cash out $6 million up front off the loan, and the lender wasn't very happy.
That's when I talk about that government contract that I was talking with Matt Moreland last time, a couple of Zooms ago, where I was telling him about the government contract I missed at the Army because I was $1 million over budget, and I still would have made. They still would have had to pay me $4 million up front, and I still would have made
There you
like
go.
I still would have made $6 million. Luckily, I didn't get it because the company that did got screwed up in Iraq, and they ended up losing their contract. And they ended up being that they should have charged like 90 or 95 million to do it right.
Yeah,
Because it was like at the very end of 2008 and 9 in Iraq when everything was like, dude, you get shot at by the insurgents just getting off the plane at that point,
yeah. I tried to cash out for 6 million, and it didn't go over well. Let's put it that way. But
Yeah, well,
and my of course my innocent answer to the guy was like, look, all I did was ask the question, and he was mad at me for asking the question. I was like, well, whatever.
all right, cool.
So
Let me try to get to a couple other people real quick. We'll come back to this. Hey, Sheena, how are you? Let me take you off unmute.
Oh, I'm doing good. No complaints.
Cool. What are you working on? What do you need help with?
Don't need help with anything at the moment, is how that goes.
Cool.
I guess I'll say this, probably something separate than your groups. Am I supposed to have two Facebook groups with you now?
No, well, one of them is the main room that ends with compound, the private
Okay.
money associates, which you're in. The other one is that EMD and Gap group. Um, if you're in that group, I have a lot of groups. I mean, I have like 7 or 8 real estate groups that I run. Most of them are support groups, or they're groups that are not doing anything with. So just make sure you're in the private money associates group, and that's the only one that this is all managed from, and the transition to the platform is out of this group. So make sure you're
Okay.
just in. The other ones are all just if you're in there, you're in there. Or just hit me up on Messenger, and I can kind of help you with navigating. Because I have one for EMD and Gap. I had another one called Launchpad, which is I'm not really using. I want to go dormant. Every time I try to go dormant, somebody shows up and wants to, hey, and I'm like, so I use those mostly to talk to people before I try to get them over into the main group. They've
Okay.
been kind of, and then EMD and Gap is good. And like I said, Ari's in there. I know a few other people are in there. Phillips in there. So I'm trying to get our group where our people that are loading EMD and Gap are the approved lenders for that group, which I can't always do. It's hard to do because I got 700 people in that group. And so those are free groups. The whole idea now is they're kind of like feeder groups for getting the main, and then obviously we'll start with Reindeer going live. I mean, I've got a few things to do with Danny this weekend, and we should be live pretty soon on the
Hey
main.
Nate, I'm gonna
Yeah,
drop off. I'm gonna
yeah,
drop off.
Can you send
cool.
me the information on that, Nate, on that group, the EMD and lending?
Yeah, I'll invite you over there. If you're not there, it's free, so you can just go there and it's EMD and Gap.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not there yet. So yeah, send
Yeah,
me the invite and I'll do it.
yeah, I'll send you the message or anybody else want to get in that group. Like I said, so Sheena just want to be in the associates group, and I'll just tag you so you know which the main group is in there. So you're good at that point.
Got you. I appreciate the clarification.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a bunch of them that I've had, and or I can. Well, he's not on anymore. He can tell you there's some that I've used in the past that just to help out, certain areas. Because I got one for our groups. It's like for the family office and the hedge fund databases, and everybody can have access to it. But I separated them because ideally, I don't want to like have people burning through family offices and hedge funds because those are valuable. Like that database costs like $7,000. My costs on it, so I would just want to make sure people in there are using it right. Like, don't hit a family off. Don't hit MIT's endowment fund with about $80 billion in it up for $10,000 rehab loan because they're not going to get it. So I kind of make sure people know, you these all belong to all of you guys, all those databases. I'm just making sure that, the people actually put them to work in the right way. So there's a couple of groups where I've separated some stuff, which will be available to everyone if you want to use it. It's just trying to make sure that I can provide a little guidance so it's more efficient. Otherwise, you kind of waste your time, using a family office database because they don't do small deals. They do, 10, 100 million, 10 to $100 million usually. Um, so I just happen to have those databases because we were doing a capital raise for our Blue Sky building back in 2019 to 20, which we weren't able to do because of COVID. So, you guys ever want to kill a weekend? Just pull up all the Blue Sky documents I have in Files tab, and you can see because I did some of those. That's we were a couple of my other partners besides Kevin at the time, and I did all those documents. Pretty impressive. It's going to be a 112-story building. You think about
Yeah,
driving down from, yeah.
I would like to get something like that because I actually had a deal going on, and I still do have a deal going on in Houston. And I think it's a $54 million project, and so it'd be nice to be able to have access to something like that. Um,
The family office group. Let me go quick, and then I'll tag you as well. Let me tag Sheena first in the group so she knows that this is the group to use. And
yeah,
then and
because
then I'll tag you and I'll invite you to that family office group. Uh,
no, that's good because I, as you already know, I do deal with a lot of CDFIs and new markets tax credit and
Yeah,
some of that
I
stuff.
saw you post about
Yeah,
CDFIs the other day. So
exactly. And I've been involved with CDFI for probably about since 2020.
yeah, it's just like I said, the only reason I used to have them in this group, but what I didn't want to do, like I said, is have people just start blowing up these. So I have two of
Yeah,
them.
no,
One,
I can understand that.
yeah, because otherwise it's like like I said, somebody starts ringing up the MIT, and I people actually laughed when I said I have Todd Solomon's email address and his phone number. People don't know who Todd Solomon is. He's the president of the University of Colorado. All the campuses and the med school and all, law school are all under him. And I have him from
Okay.
I was joking, and people were like, how did you get Todd's email address? Because he's in my database, and I have his database when he was just the vice president of endowments, and then they promoted him. The state legislature and the regions promoted him president. So his email address never changed. He's just got the big office in Denver instead of the small office that used to be in Boulder. So there's a lot of people. It's just trying to make sure that people don't have, because otherwise, like I said, man, somebody goes to some of these family offices, and we have direct. If you go to the list, we have like direct phone numbers, email addresses. Sometimes they change, because I had somebody else do that. Oh, like there's some. They're really most of the funds are still there. Most of the actual family offices and hedge funds. Sometimes they would have had a specific fund and a name on it, and it's closed or something. Because I got these a few years ago. Cool, Bill. I'll be in touch on that, and then I'll connect you to the EMB and Gap group as well. Let me do that right now. And then, like I said, anybody that wants access to that family office group, let me know. Everything we have belongs to you guys. It's just trying to make sure, like I said, I want people to be able to use it, and if you guys need a little bit of help, how to contact a family office, we're gonna have those videos and stuff on Reindeer.
No, this is great. I'm glad I hopped
All
on
right.
the
Talk to
call
you guys.
here.
Yeah, I'll send that to you right now, Bill.
All right. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
So Nate, I'm gonna have to hop off too, but I appreciate you. Nice meeting you, Sheena and Zeke and everything. Sorry to get a chance to really talk with you guys, but please send me something. I would love to connect with everyone and everything. So
Cool. Thanks, Phil.
Gotcha.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
all right, you guys
Cool.
take care. Bye now.
Yeah, and then forget tomorrow night. We have
Yeah.
that thing with Ari. So if you're available tomorrow night, Ari's going to do that whole thing
Okay.
tomorrow night. It's
All
kind of
right.
cool. Probably a little bit, you probably have experienced all that, but who knows? I just want to make sure
No,
invite
I could
people.
always everybody. You know what? I'll tell you. I don't know everything.
Well, no, and I tell people
And
it's a
even
great
if
opportunity because people are going to be on there. It's going to be unrecorded, and it's a good opportunity to see other people in the group.
yeah,
Because
I mean, and sometimes I forget things. I'm not anyone special.
no, I just try
I
to tell
just
people.
appreciate being able to network with you guys.
Yeah, but like I said, it's gonna be a little different. We're not gonna record it, and I'm just gonna basically after the intro,
Okay.
turn the recording off and turn it over to Ari. He's gonna co-host it. He's gonna do his thing for like 2 hours. It's gonna go pretty, helping people identify some things. A lot of them, but it's
Sounds
cool.
good.
Anybody that's got experience can also chime in a little bit. It's just gonna be we need
Okay.
to start. We're gonna start doing a lot more of these as we transition to the platform, so people can actually get more education. It's a little harder in our group because everybody's so broad based. We got different experiences, which is great, but we need to start being
Yeah.
more focused on helping people.
No, and I think that's good. I think that's to definitely to your credit, Nate, because some of the other and we talked about them earlier. Some of those other groups, they're very inexperienced, and it's nice to have sometimes an older, more mature crowd.
And sometimes the guru doesn't know anything outside of what they're guruing, like their strategy or
Exactly.
whatever they're doing, and they don't.
Yeah.
And here the whole idea, and it evolved. I don't know. It evolved over the last because we've done this for 4 years. That evolved now where people can. I think it exponentially. If they come in and they can't quite do the larger stuff they want to do, they can at least
Yeah.
build up for that and develop
Exactly.
relationships. Develop the relationships. Download the what they need from files, start getting some cash flow and income, and start building up to do those larger deals. And then everybody gets to know them. The lenders and stuff in the group already know them, and every lender that we have in the group is polling for everybody. They get to know them as friends, and they want to. Hey, I can't fund you now, but hey, in 6 months I can fund you because they'll get a watch. And
Exactly.
I tell
Yeah.
people that the big advantage to our group is, and I tell all these new people that are thinking about joining, that if you're a lender, you get to watch people develop, and you're pulling from them, and you help them a little bit, and then that's going to be a much better client for them because they're going to, you can
Yeah.
kind of help train them and get them ready for,
Yeah.
for doing those bigger things that, a lot of people want to do big stuff, but they just, it's my
No, and I
experience in the industry,
appreciate.
and
Yeah.
I got trained as a private,
Exactly.
and I got trained as a private money broker and pretty much strictly single family, and then one of fours, and I
Nice.
started doing other things with that was Chicago and Lee Arnold,
Yeah.
and I started with Lending One and all those other ones, starting getting the bigger asset classes. So really took me about 2 or 3 years, and I was able to broker multifamily. I did the $7.2 million deal that I brokered, and
Nice.
that was nice, making 200. I wish I could do that. That was in 2018. Yeah, I wish I had some of that money during COVID because that helps a lot when we're down. But this group came out of that. All that depression and stuff that I
Okay.
had,
All right.
that this group came out of that. So anyway, thanks, Philip. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. You guys have a good rest of your day.
Cool. So yeah, so Sheena and Zeke, it's down to you guys. So what other things you guys working on? Anything else new, Zeke or Sheena?
Nope, nothing on my end. Just submitting offers.
Cool. Hey, Kevin's coming on now. Maybe Kevin, what's up? See how long it takes him to get on there. Hey, Zeke, you're coming down in November, right? You're coming to Colorado?
I believe so, yeah.
Cool. What are you coming to Denver?
Fort Collins,
Oh, okay. You're not dropping down that far.
no.
I can drive up there, meet up there if you want. We can find time. Just give me a heads up.
Okay.
And we can at least go up there and meet somewhere or something, have a beer, whatever. Starbucks. Okay, Kevin, what's up? You missed a few people.
Oh, not the kind of people I'd like to miss.
Oh, you missed Philip and you missed Ari and so
Well,
and Bill Johnson because they all had. But Ari's gonna do. He went through what he's gonna do tomorrow night on that special, and I'm just gonna go through like 5 minute introduction, and then I'm gonna take the recording off and turn it over to him, and then he's gonna run it for about 2 hours. So that should help. So cool.
It ought to get pretty colorful with Ari running it.
no,
He's actually better. Kevin.
If you want colorful, that's just the black and white version of him to speak of. I mean, he really gets off and wound up when he really gets off and wound up. So
You missed the good old days of Ari and Sean Doolittle being on at the same time.
yes, that was like a tennis match.
That was
Whap,
like
whap, whap.
it was like a 3 ring circus. I mean, it was like I was like sitting there having to like mute it. That was back in the day. We throw a few other people in there. Yeah, it's like changed a lot. But no, Ari's actually got some really good stuff going on. He's definitely pulled some stuff. So is I mean, you're talking about Cameron, what Cameron is doing with Midwest Monster, and you think about Ari's doing a lot, and I mean, everybody that's been in our group for a while and everybody's come in recently is awesome. We have so many people that have just joined in June and July and August and joined in April, Pippa and Jody and Sheena's on now, and Laura and Stan and Bill, Dana Gillis. We got some good people now. And we're gonna be it's gonna be pretty awesome. I think I'm kind of just doing some last minute things before we go active on the reindeer on LearnDash and Agents Gather. Just got to try to get some more people in Agents Gather and all that. Make Danny a little bit happy. So
Yep.
that's kind of what we're doing now. So we've got a few minutes, like 10, 13, 15 minutes. So we try to go an hour. Because I'm going to go 2 hours. I'm sure we're going to go like 2 hours tomorrow night. And then I'm trying to go. Yeah.
Everybody's trying to save up all the energy, medley, and everything else to focus on tomorrow night. They're all just going home. Zeke here, he's like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah, protein bar and water.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I'm just gonna basically facilitate, and I'll just let Ari, do it and do his thing. Because I'm gonna learn stuff from him. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he's already said that I'm like, holy crap. Because you guys know, I got a little, I get a little rusty because I haven't done a lot of brokering in the last couple of years. I've done very little because I've been working on this, and it's like, so I've gotten a little bit rusty. Luckily, I have life changing, so I don't have to do very much. Where I can just send everything to Addison and Casey and all that. But yeah, I don't know. It's like good stuff. So I'm pretty happy with it. Um, yeah, so I think it's gonna be awesome. Some pretty cool stuff
Yeah,
going on.
if nothing else, everybody ought to be able to learn quite a bit because he's got it. He's got everything to the point right now where he knows how to present it and make sense and get to the point. He doesn't like messing around and monkeying around, which is another thing I like about him because there just isn't any more time for that. And with what's going on and everything that's coming around, people have to be ready to go at a moment's notice. And that's why I was trying to get on him last time we were on the call because even to his point, he's not. He needs to pick up the pace a little bit because things are going to be changing so fast, and he's in the right spot at the right time to get everything ready to go because it's going to basically be a cascading event when it happens, and it can happen at just about any time. So being able to understand how this thing works is in advance, and then at the same time be able to produce risk-free investments, risk-free real estate, which I know can be done because I've actually done it myself. I'm sure he understands how that works. So what you don't learn from one of us, you're going to learn from the other. And there's 3 or 4 of us that you're going to find a lot of the messages are rather consistent. And there might be a few small or varying things that will make something work for somebody that's not working for them currently. And that's basically what this whole experiment has been about all this time anyway. Now that we know that it's no longer an experiment and that it will work, here comes reindeer. But he has so much going on that, in my opinion, this is my opinion, not Nate or anybody else's opinion, but my opinion, he needs to get going now and getting all this information out to everybody because there's so much to look at and understand and then be able to move at a moment's notice. I mean, this is firecracker kind of stuff. And we're all about being ahead of the game, not behind the game. We're all about being the game and not being behind the game. This is not something where you have time to play around and it turns into some kind of a fad. This is something that's always going to be going on. And if you're 2 or 3 steps ahead of it and can start forecasting it, you're going to know where to be and what to do and how much time you have to prepare for the next cycle, if you want to call it cycle. I just call it events because there's no real cycle to this thing. That is coming to an end all across the board permanently. So it's a matter of trying to be able to make a case for where you want to be and how you want this thing to look after everything's all falling apart. And that is something that everybody that's in here has a perfectly good position and understanding to be able to actually accomplish. And that's in my humble opinion. Okay. And you've been dealing with Gwen for a while, Zeke. So I think you probably see a pretty good connection between what I'm saying and what she's saying and what I'm doing and how she's doing it. And there is a method to the madness here. Okay. We're having to put up with the idiots. We're having to put up with the stupid money people that don't know any better either. Okay. That supposedly know everything. It's not just private money, even institutional funding's that way. Everybody's walking around like a bunch of robots and zombies right now. Everybody's doing stuff that nobody would have done 30, 40 years ago because it doesn't make any sense. Well, it doesn't make any sense now more than it did 30, 40 years ago. Okay. That's the whole point. I went through the 70s and 80s. I know what this looks like. I also know that we are so far behind the 8 ball now after what happened in 2008, we're not coming back. So we're in a position to literally take command of the real estate sector as a whole with the right moves, with the right people in the right places doing the right things. We've got people like, Leonard Rosen with the NPLA. I've got him. I've got his personal phone number. I can call him. We can have discussions about different things. I can't wait to start engaging that whole thing because I have enough information to be able to turn some things with those people coming into our camp. That's why I brought Gwen in. All right. And Nate knows what I'm talking about because he's actually had a personal face-to-face with the guy. Okay. Or 2 or 5 or 10. Right.
Or 3 days worth.
Representative with you. I should have been there with you. You know that now, right?
Yeah. We would have Phil's metal cards as his own business and everyone. It's a great event, MPLA, and we're going to be there a couple times next year. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to go first time as an attendee, and then I'm going to try to go twice as a sponsor.
Well, the whole thing is this deal with Ari is, I think, in my opinion, it just you have to take it with a little grain of salt, give him a chance to polish it up a little bit. But he's good at flying with it, and he has the resources to back what he's talking about. That's the other thing, okay? And some of the stuff he's talking about is old stuff that will no longer function because the new stuff's coming out. That's where I come in because I think I got his attention the other day or last week or whenever the hell it was. Okay.
But Kevin, you just missed him telling us the story of how he tried to front load his fee on a loan where he tried to get the lender to give him $6 million up front.
Well, he could do it though, right? I mean,
It
he
was a
can
great
actually
story. I
pull
sat
that
there.
off.
I'm like sitting. This is only something Ari would try to do.
And he can pull it off. He's
Yeah.
just that kind of guy. Unlike Phil, who can't close a deal to save his ass. Okay, this guy can pull that off, and with good reason, good measure. It makes sense, and it works. It's nothing against the guy that's giving him the money. That guy's going to get everything he wants when he wants to get it too. He's just that good. He's a very good financial engineer. Okay,
Well,
and
we also got Philip, and he was just on. Philip's working on a $54 million deal right now. So I just hooked him up with the family offices and hedge fund list because he's looking to, and he's one of those guys in our group that can do that, knows how to use those. Hey, Anita, what's going on?
Life.
Hey, long time.
Hey.
What's going on? How's St. Louis and Springfield?
Well, I'm on my last week of St. Louis and to Springfield next week.
yeah, and you never did get back with me, so I could set you up with Scott.
Yeah, I tried reaching out to Scott and then, I tried reaching out and then didn't get a call back, but I've been a busy girl.
Yes, I've seen you post a few times recently.
Well, and then I dropped off and hadn't even been posting because I'm in between jobs.
Uh,
I'm
So that would be
finishing
the
up my
time you
last
had,
week
and
here and
now you
starting a new week in Springfield.
So
cool.
that would have been your job that you had before. Now that you have a new job being a real estate investor, right?
Well, I'm trying to build back up on the real estate because I got kind of wiped out. So I got to build back up my funds here.
Well, we'll work
Yeah.
on that. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Mhm.
No, we got that thing tomorrow night. That's what we were just talking about when you came on. Ari's going to do a special event tomorrow night for about 2 hours. He's just going to help people go through numbers and show them like what a deal looks like a deal, but it's not.
Yeah.
Things like that. Irresponsible lenders. We were talking about the Gator lenders this morning. I mean, earlier. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Reindeer's about to activate finally. So we're
Yay.
days. We're like under 2 weeks now. So just got those little minor details of having to make sure everything's technically sound before we do it. So people don't sign up and hey, there's nothing here. Like, we kind of are telling people we're building in that time, like, hey, not everything's going to be 100% there when it's for the first week. It's going to take us time to get everything there that I want. Because I told people the other day, I probably only got about 10% of what I want to. Literally, I have so much stuff to create content with that I just stopped doing it in the files tab because I just didn't want to have to do it twice. So everything's in files. I have probably 3 to 4 times what I have ready to do, and we're gonna do all the videos and stuff. So I've been working with Danny on that, talking to him about it. So since the last time you were on. So yeah, tomorrow night we're doing the same time. Ari's gonna be co-hosting. It's gonna be unrecorded, so we're not gonna have a recording. He wants people to come in and kind of feel like people can talk, ask questions. If somebody's gonna make a mistake, we'd rather have them, do it there and not do it in the real world. That costs them tens of thousands of dollars. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be very friendly, it's like almost like a classroom setting. Come in and do fictional case studies or whatever.
Yeah,
So
real world sucks.
yeah, if you're gonna make a $10,000 mistake or 100,000, do it in a fiction. It's like Thornton Mellon from Rodney
Paper
Dangerfield from Back to School. How about Fantasyland? Because I've posted that a few times in some real estate groups, and people are asking about like I can't even say where I was. there's so many groups recently where I'm just like, I just want to come back with Rodney Dangerfield lines. And then somebody's complaining about something the other day, and I use that "Lighten Up Francis" from Stripes. And the drill sergeant's like, "Lighten up, Francis." The guy was saying, the guy was telling people, any of you call me Francis, I'll kill you. He's like, "Lighten up, Francis." The drill sergeant. Sergeant Holka. It was great. I'm trying to remember. Oh man. Yeah, so we're gonna do that tomorrow night. So
Okay.
that's pretty good. Other than that, yeah, get reconnected with everybody. So what do you want to do? Do you have a plan to get back into it?
Well, right now, the only thing I have going on is still that house in Springfield. I'm still trying to find the original niece to put it back in probate. And I've done a search for her. I've found a name, but she's not answering to any of her stuff. So now we're reaching out to the family members along the list and haven't had anybody respond yet. So I don't know how we're going to put it in probate. And right now, that's all I've got going on.
How do you resolve that if you can't find the people that? I don't know. Can you take it to court? Can you take it to court and have a court?
No, it's very simple, Nate. Who's paying the taxes?
Well, the thing is, the guy who has been in it has been paying the taxes all this time. He's been paying the taxes and been keeping the taxes up.
And how many years has he been doing that?
Like over 10 years.
See, now you have another problem. He has rights to that property now.
Well, I agree, but when we took it to the company, the title company, they're the ones that said there's an issue with it.
Yeah, it's not the title company you have to take it to.
Yeah, you should have to.
So how do we get it out of this?
Greene County.
So what do we do?
Well, you'd have to find a real estate attorney, and they would have to file probably on behalf of the person that's in there. See, this is the other part about this. To basically adverse action in place. I mean, he has a claim to the house because he's been showing that he's been paying the taxes and upkeep on the house for over 10 years. So in Missouri, that's enough to basically show that there isn't, and if you have a probate case that's not been settled, it's longer than that. That's the end of that.
That makes sense because it's just adverse
The title
possession.
company will take note of that. You take that to the title company and say, okay, we've got this. But here's the thing, though. You still have to deal with the individual that's in the house that's been paying the taxes. So you're not going to be buying it from the probate. You're going to be buying it from that guy.
Well, he's been paying the taxes and he wants to sell it to us.
Okay, that's the whole point. He would have to file an adverse action in the courts in Greene County to praying for the possession of the house and ownership of the house.
Okay.
And then whenever the deed is is taken care of, then he would have to take that to the title company and show that when you guys close the deal. See?
Okay.
That's the only way to make that work.
Okay.
And not very many people know about it because not very many people even do that. Because it never really gets to that point. So you're one of these oddballs.
Right.
Oh, we have an oddball. Yeah, wasn't that one of those in
Go figure.
birthday date? Yeah. No, that was in Kelly's Heroes.
That was Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, who just died about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about the only way that's going to work. And that's it in a nutshell. So you're still probably 60, 90 days out from getting that property.
So adverse action with a lawyer.
You need to get a lawyer, or he needs to get a lawyer. Two of you guys need to get a lawyer, explain the situation to him. And then I might go do a little more research on that. Part of it has to do, there's some other things regarding the Abandoned Housing Act in the state of Missouri. I know something about that because I helped retool that law. I have a lot of experience on real estate law regarding stuff like this because that whole thing had basically been abandoned, and there was only one outfit in Missouri that was even working in that realm, and that was West Missouri Legal Aid. And I knew the attorney that was doing it, and we retooled that. along with a number of other things, put a land bank together in Kansas City, which in itself was a state, county, and city law that had to be changed for that. So this is kind of keeping things up to date. He's the one that's been maintaining it. He's been paying the taxes on it. They're going to look at him being the actual person that has been the responsible payee, and the state's looking, as well as the cities and stuff, are looking for responsible ownership. They don't want irresponsible stuff going on. So,
Well, I won't say that the house is in great shape. That's why we're buying it from him.
no, but he's been keeping it from getting any worse.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the point I'm trying to get at. Okay. He got in the shape it is because of the neglect of the ownership, and the ownership neglect is not just in the shape, but also in the tax records.
Right.
So, there's good reason for a good, strong case of why he should be able to get the property. And the disposition of the property is, well, we're trying to do this. We're trying to take it over, and we're trying to go ahead and, finish the problem, fix the problem, do all that kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the other thing is, it might be another situation where, and I would have to figure out who in Greene County is doing that in Springfield, but the neighborhood association, whatever, I could walk everybody through this process. It just depends on what that attorney comes up with, because it's something that can be done, and everybody can come out happy with the whole situation, and that's all that matters. That's the end of the line. But I think this is the direction this is going. It sounds like to me.
Yeah, it's definitely the direction it's going. But finding the real estate attorney is my next. We had one, but he, for whatever reason, quit returning our phone calls. So I don't know why that is. He was paid up, and I don't know if he just got too busy or
died or
if you pay him, if you pay him,
he's very much alive. So I don't know what his deal is, but
well, you can go to the bar if you paid him and he hasn't performed. We can reach out to Paul Vincent and see if he has any contacts in Missouri.
yeah, that'd be good.
Don't need to do that, because I can make the phone call through Western Missouri Legal Aid and I can get more down and dirty in that situation, and be a lot more concise by going that route, which is what I was going to bring up. I need to have the property description and address, basically.
Oh, I can get that for you.
I'll make an inquiry from Western Missouri Legal Aid to see who's handling that kind of stuff down there, and then they might be able to take, it might be a legal aid attorney that takes the case. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's basically
whatever happens. I mean, hell, it was Chief Justice Roberts or a legal aid. It doesn't matter.
Well,
somewhere.
Yeah, but legal aid, this is what I'm trying to get at. They have the experience to know how to do this, and they have the expertise to do this, and it doesn't really cost anything. Okay. And I know that law inside and out, and I can help direct this case.
Right.
And figure out who's dealing with that down there. And that's basically what it gets down to. And there's definitely a case for that. And taxes is one of them. And then property condition, there's 3 different phases to this thing. And they have 2 or 3 right off the front page. So it does fit that particular situation. And then we need to see if there's any open cases from the county or the city regarding, property negligence and, problems like that, paying citations, stuff like this. If there's any cases of that, that also goes to this. So I think we could probably get that taken care of going that route. And then you would end up being the developer / remodeler / owner, because at the end of the line, you'll go to court, you'll be testifying to the state of the property, and you'll have the rehab list, full rehab, all that stuff that we're talking about all the time. You'll have all that. They'll make the case for it. You put the amount of money you're going to, that's going to take to do this. You're going to prove that you have funds to get it done. And then after you get done doing it, there'll be a final disposition hearing where you're proving that it has been done, and then you end up with the title.
Okay.
That's basically how it works. Now, where this is going to come in is the interest of the person that's in there. Okay. You have to negotiate that with the Western Missouri legal aid attorney to figure out how to bring that all together. See,
Right.
and that's basically how it works. But that's what this sounds like. And if there are any other cases like this down there, where they have, adverse action, or, somebody that needs to, they've got a neighborhood that's got a problem property, you're right there and you're doing these kind of properties and you're on a list and they're giving you a call whenever they've got one that pops up.
I just connected you guys.
Yeah, that's what we have to do here, because this is definitely a right down the throat deal here, Nate.
No,
And
that
after
definitely
everything
is.
else that's been going on today, this is actually a pretty good setup. So,
Yep.
God, this has been bizarre,
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
and this has been a weird day.
Well, the good thing is you're in Missouri, so Kevin's there, Scott's there. We got some people there.
Well, I know what's going on with this particular case too. I know how to fix it.
Yeah.
It's unique to Missouri. I don't know how many other states are doing what we're doing, but it's unique to Missouri. And this just has to be looked into, because there may be other. Springfield's getting big enough that they may have some abandoned houses there.
Right.
If you're walking in there and hey, I got an abandoned housing case that might be able to file here. Here's the situation. You're the person that's paying the taxes in there. All that kind of business.
Yeah.
How much are the taxes on it?
I think he's paying like 600 a year.
So he's due $6,000 at least.
Yeah.
How much does he want for the property?
30 grand.
And how much does it look like the ARV is on it?
How much does it look like? What?
The ARV?
Value.
About once we get it fixed up, right now the ARV is looking about over 230.
Okay, and how much are you looking at on the repairs to your best of your knowledge?
My guesstimate is right at 100, because we're gonna have to gut it.
Okay, so you got 100, 230, and he's got 6. So you basically have $106,000.
Yeah.
You got to reimburse him for the taxes at least. That's not negotiable. Just do that.
Right.
So he wants another 30, so that'd be 136,000, right?
Right.
You'll make
So you
85, 90,000 probably after closing costs.
Well, this is what I'm getting at. Okay, so you still have good numbers. So the whole point of the matter is everything works. All right, there's no reason why this deal can't go through.
Right.
Everybody wins on this thing except for the idiot that decided to just walk away from it and put it in a probate case that can't be settled. I mean, do you even have the deceased owner's name? Because you can even look up the probate case and the probate attorney.
Yeah.
See, this is, man, I'm back in the probate business twice now. My brothers to deal with now, and now this thing. So yeah,
we
let's
have
go
it
ahead.
on paperwork. I don't have it up today, but I can go back in the paperwork and get it. We have it.
Well, the point being is this is exactly what we need to do, because what's going to happen is Western Missouri legal aid, or whatever legal aid attorney is going to be doing this, is going to have to serve them.
Well,
Okay.
they're dead, so they've been dead for 10 years.
Matter. They still have to serve it, because they'll serve it. They'll serve that person, then they'll serve the estate of that person.
Yeah.
Any attorney of record of that person will get served. Okay, this all has to. Then it gets published, and then they have so many days to respond. Okay.
Right.
And then the hearing is established once there's been no responses, or there's proof that this hasn't been dealt with. It takes about maybe 90 days to go through that whole thing, and then you're in court. You get your day in court, and you get the court order. Then at that time, you're taking possession of the property, and went in and deal with everything. That's basically what it gets down to. Now, how much cash have you got on hand that you can put into this?
At the moment, not a lot, but we can find it. We can get a loan for what we need. It just depends on what we need.
This is what I'm getting at, though. You're not going to be able to have him in the house when you're rehabbing the thing. So I'm looking at the $6,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're getting your repair costs together and getting all this done, you're going to have to put a special contingency fund and ask for the $6,000 and have that in cash so that you can pay him $6,000 so he can move.
He's already out. He's not in the house.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking he was still in the house. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
that's
not
better.
in the house.
That's better. That takes that little bit of pressure off. Because we've had situations where that's been the case. So yeah, I think this is the way to go. You could probably get this thing done within 90 to 120 days. Start to finish, and then you're looking at probably another 60 days for rehab.
Yeah, I just got to get my funding back up and running because I started looking at all this in January. So my original funders gave up on me and dropped out.
Yeah, well,
So
I wouldn't worry about the funders. We have more funders than we have.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got some more people that have come on since last time.
Not some more people. We have a boatload of people that have come on since you were on here.
Yeah.
And they do a boatload of different things with a boatload of money. So there's no limits to what you can do with this kind of a project as it currently stands in this group. Zeke can even tell you that because he's one of the boatload funders.
Well, we got some good people in the group now.
Yeah. So this is something I think we probably ought to pursue, and then I wouldn't worry about going back to St. Louis because there's a sign going up Route 66. It's still there coming into town in 1934, 840,000 people. 210 now.
Yeah.
No industry. Okay. That's a market that's dying with no promise. So you have all the suburbs out there, and even those people are moving to moving to the Lake of the Ozarks, literally.
Yeah, I'm going home.
So, I mean, they're moving to the Lake of the Ozarks. They're not moving anywhere else. They're going to these casino things. All this fun stuff is going to happen. I'm personally going to be trying to camp out in Hickory County. But seriously, this is one market that if they have that there aren't that many specialists, then you could probably do pretty good right there.
Yeah.
And then, as far as getting the repairs done, that's Scott's venue. And he also
I've got people lined up that have already said I just have to get it approved with the funding, and that's what choked us up last time is getting people in there that the funding would approve of.
Yeah, well, I don't think Scott.
That's gonna. Yeah, we've actually gonna be able to handle that a lot easier now in the group.
Good.
And then we have Scott because he's everything. Actually, everything that's going to have anything to do with this project is going to be in house.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to try to help you get this thing done finally.
If you need insurance, I've got somebody down in Springfield that'll take care of that. I just have to call him up. There's a cousin of mine. I just got to find him and then get a hold of him. And then, like I said, as far as the repairs and everything's concerned, Scott can handle that. Plus, again, his clientele are high-end people down there. Plus, he's also an investor and he's in the group. So, I mean, he's very versed with this, along with a few other things. But yeah, and then there's a lot going on in Hickory that's going to be coming up here pretty quick that I'm going to try to jump on. And it's actually bleeding up into Benton County on the north side of Hickory because that's all bleeding down 65 along Truman Lake too. And that didn't used to be there.
True story.
Because I go all the way back to 1966 with this crap.
That's exciting.
Yeah. No water shortages anywhere around there. Never going to be a drought.
I'm going to borrow a line from Spaceballs right now since they're making Spaceballs too. Remember Lone Star and Barf, John Candy's character, when we're not doing this for a bunch of money. We're doing this for a shitload of money.
Yeah, right.
They're making Spaceballs too.
Let's go ahead and get that started.
Okay.
I'll try to call in tomorrow because I need something that's going to work because everything else has been like, Jesus, I had my bank account. Somebody put a forged check in my account, deposited it electronically, finding my signature.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's
I don't know who this person was. Okay. We had about 90% of the American people's life history that was on record disappeared and got hacked in April.
Nice.
It's 90% of the American people got their lives hacked in April, not just their recent activity.
Right.
Everything was on electronic media they didn't take a little bit of it, they took it home. And it was from this one company that was doing all these background check data. They
Right.
assembled data for background checks. That was the company that got hit, and they took everything.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible out there.
All
There's
right,
a
now
lot of there's a lot of stuff like that going around.
no,
All
it's
right.
not a lot. That right there is enough to shut the economy down.
Right.
Because that's enough right there. The fraudsters are going to pick the stuff up and do just what they did to me this morning. That will jam up the entire banking system. And the banking system's jammed up enough as it is. They can't do their own
For
jobs.
sure.
So,
For sure.
so we need to get right on this, but I think that's the route to go.
Okay. I have to work tomorrow, but I will try to get as much of the information as I can as soon as I get off here.
The important
Send me a
part
chat.
is the ownership and the address and the property description.
Okay.
And then include the guy that's been paying the taxes on it. Now the tax record
Tom
should,
Skinner. Yep.
I'm just saying, and he should have copies of those tax receipts. Hopefully.
Yeah, I
Not
don't know what he has or what he doesn't have, but his name is, if you look up the address and look up the title, his name is secondary on the title. But
okay. Well, if he's on the title, it may not be this difficult, or maybe just
right.
first one
Because
off.
when I did a title search, it had the original owner and his name both.
Okay,
had
so
both of them.
it may be just taking an adverse action against the other owner. Or you may have to take an adverse action against both him and the other owner. And then wiping them out and then going ahead and paying him after the fact, which again you can do.
Okay. Well, I will, like I said, I'll send you the information via Facebook chat, I guess, or
Well, yeah,
Just on
email.
Messenger. Yeah,
Messenger.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin will give you his number. You can talk on the phone and you can work it out. And then, yeah,
Okay.
he'll be able to help you because that's the best thing having him in Missouri. So
Yeah.
he knows all the laws. He knows all the people.
well, it's not just being Missouri. I've actually gotten to know a lot going outside of this mess. I got hooked up with the Fed back in 2009, 2010, working on this project here, trying to get a hold of about, I think there was roughly 5,000 vacant properties here in Kansas City at the time because nobody wanted them. They were absolutely worthless. I mean, there was no way you could finance it. It was just a total wreck. And we
How much
ended
are
up
the
getting
recording off?
reserve, just